Isaiah Thomas set deep. Fields it at about the 3. And on the go, it is Gibbs. The aforementioned Jahmyr Gibbs, who we said should see significant playing time, contributes in special teams right from the start. What a return for Georgia Tech.
Unbelievable start for Jahmyr Gibbs. First time he touches the football at this level, and he almost takes it the distance. Trying to get it to the field, recognizes an opening back on the near sideline. And turning on the Jets, this kid, they've compared him to Reggie Bush.
Wow.
With his style of play.
73-yard kickoff return. So prime position for Jeff Sims, and here he goes straight ahead inside the 10. First and goal as Sims takes it ahead, finally met by Richie Grant.
And you're going to see two teams that really like to use tempo. I love first play of the game, little quarterback draw.
And now Griffin probing and spinning ahead down to the 1-yard line. Lightning fast start for Georgia Tech. Jahmyr Gibbs, the freshman from Dalton, Georgia, set them up. Sims into the end zone. Touchdown, Yellow Jackets. Jude Kelly, who had the redemption last week after 3 block kicks. He starts the day off with a successful extra point. And Georgia Tech can't do better than that, can you? Jeff Sims, the road win last week, the home glory to start things off.
An excellent read by the freshman quarterback, and a good job knifing up inside for the early points.
It's all set up by the 73-yard kickoff return by Gibbs. He is a dynamite playmaker. As Kent will kick away, and this will go for a touchback. And with that, we get to see Dylan Gabriel, who's coming off a record-setting freshman season, went for over 3,600 passing yards a year ago. That was a freshman record at UCF.
Didn't start the season opener, but man, he took control of this team early last season. Went 9-3 as a starter. Of course, those 3 losses coming by a combined 7 points. I love watching this kid play. He's got such an incredible feel for the position, and his instincts are remarkable with how he could feel and negotiate defenders while he's within the pocket and when he escapes.
The lefty from Hawaii. He's got the versatile Otis Anderson in the backfield with him. And he'll quickly get it to the outside. And Marlon Williams is the target, but immediately wrap up that time. So it's Walton quick to get to the outside. Tempo team is UCF. And here is Anderson. Out to the 32-yard line. It'll be 3rd and short from there.
It's going to be interesting to watch just how fast they work. First game of the year for UCF.
Gabriel tried to cut to the outside to reach out for that line to make, but he was taken down by Caleb Oliver. 4th down, and they're quick to get over the line at their own 34-yard line. And they're going to snap it on 4th and 1. And Gabriel is going to slide down short of the 40-yard line and move the chains.
Not really that dissimilar to the touchdown we just saw from Georgia Tech. Little zone read, that defensive end crashes. Gabriel takes it himself for the conversion.
Play action on 1st down. Gabriel, plenty of time, taking a shot downfield and into the hands of Nixon. Big play, Knights. 49 yards to Trey Nixon. Anderson straight ahead. And as quickly as Georgia Tech was able to strike on their first position, look at UCF. As all of a sudden, Caleb Oliver is reeling in pain. And you can see the UCF players not liking the disruption to their tempo.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, how about this throw going back just a couple plays ago? Big play receiver in Trey Nixon. A little bit messed up in coverage there defensively from Georgia Tech. They had two guys stay to the outside, allowing Nixon to just seam right to the top of the numbers in a perfectly thrown football. Nixon, big shoes to fill, having to step up now to the #1 wide receiver in the departure of Davis. Clearly answering the call early in this ball game.
49-yard reception, 2nd and 4 after the quick injury timeout. Gabriel, look to the right, now extends, and will throw it out the back of the end zone. It'll be 3rd down. Can get a 1st down at the 2-yard line.
This is the part of the field last year where UCF, for as good as they are offensively, low red zone was a little bit of a challenge. They rely so much on their speed and being able to stretch the defense both horizontally and vertically. But when the field condenses right here, it becomes a little bit more difficult to be efficient. So we'll see if they've found an answer this offseason.
3rd and 4. Gabriel on the slant, and that is a touchdown into the hands of Trey Nixon. Six-yard touchdown catch after he set it all up with the 49-yarder.
Man, just a great job there with the call. Man coverage. They get a little rub route, allowing Nixon to come underneath, and he goes up strong with the football and makes the contested catch knowing contact was coming.
Flag is down as Obarski was looking to punch it through. We've got a fast track here in Atlanta today, don't we, Greg?
I'll tell you what, man, these two teams, I mean, with the confidence that Georgia Tech got last week and what we know UCF is, so much speed, so much talent, this is going to be a fun one, Joe, no doubt.
Illegal substitution, 12 men on defense. The penalty is declined. The PAT is good.
7-7 in a don't blink start to this one. All tied up between Georgia Tech and just in the past 6 days alone.
It's amazing. He was tasked with something extremely difficult to bring Georgia Tech into the 21st century. What they were doing offensively. Rebranding the program, though, has been maybe the most difficult task, but he's done so easily. You see the ATL on the field. You see the 404 becoming synonymous with the city of Atlanta has been huge for Georgia Tech.
Sims quickly gets it out to Gibbs. Here's Gibbs in the open field as Gibbs makes his way out to the 33-yard line. Yeah, we talked to Collins last night, and he said, listen, if you were around this program 18 months ago, it is beyond night and day. The mentality, how the players carry themselves.
The fun they have.
That's right.
With the music that they play at practice. I mean, the littlest things have been considered by this staff, and the players have certainly responded.
Now, this is a players first program for sure. 2nd and 2, Sims dancing around and now looking to get to the edge, and he will do so for a 1st down. This was pregame, as he said, listen, we put the weights out there. You want to get your pump on pregame? We're all for it. And they got the development guys out there getting a workout in. We'll strengthen conditioning on the game day.
They said the development guys work out 5 days a week. I don't know if that counts. Doing curls on the sideline, I'm not sure that counts as a developmental workout, Joe.
1st down run. It is Gibbs again. Marty?
Fellas, you guys talking about Coach Collins' adoration for the 404, it's personal. He grew up here. He was raised here. He played high school football here. And he told me when he was 26 years old as a GA for George O'Leary, he had a vision for what this place could be in the greater college football landscape. I asked him, what is that? We heard Joe say it at the top of the show, the epicenter of college football. He said the vast majority of national championships have been won within 5 hours of Atlanta over the last 15 years, and there's no reason we can't be right there with him.
And right there down that seam for 20 yards is Jahmyr Gibbs. Boy, he is an instant impact, isn't he, this freshman?
And the impact on the passing game, too, right there. Getting out on the little wheel route. Busted coverage defensively by UCF, and they take advantage for a big play.
And now they'll feed him again, but this time there was nowhere to go. That was Kenny Turnier, the big senior defensive tackle who led UCF with 13.5 TFLs a year ago.
1 yard loss. 2nd down and 11. All at the 40.
Reminder, an intriguing one coming your way tonight. 7:30 on ABC. It is Miami and Louisville. Sims keeping it, getting to the edge, and finally run down by Collier.
I don't know if it's the number or the way he runs or what it is, but I'm telling you, this Sims kid reminds me so much of Robert Griffin III.
How so?
Just with how he's a long strider, but he's shifty. And I love the over-the-top throwing motion, and obviously, you know, number 10 naturally makes me think of him as well. But man, that is that's high praise for the freshman. I am just so impressed with the decisions he makes and the athleticism he's displayed.
3rd down and 5 now. Sims going to dump it out of the backfield, and Jahmyr Griffin, here he goes. And it'll be 1st and goal again for the Yellow Jackets. Finally run down by Aaron Robinson was Griffin.
Another busted defense. You see number 1 on the left defensively for UCF. That's Eric Mitchell. He blitzes, and nobody is accounting for Griffin in the flat. He's uncovered. So early season jitters and defensive mistakes so far for UCF.
Unable to wiggle his way free. He was met by a bunch of Knights. And as Griffin was taken down, Eric Mitchell, the senior linebacker, was involved in the tackle.
This is the part of the field for Georgia Tech where you might miss those tight ends. You might miss those guys because when you get in heavy personnel with 2 tight ends on the field, that can allow you to move bodies and get favorable substitutions. But now with those guys obviously absent, it'll be interesting to see their offensive plan as number 34, the former long snapper, Jack Coco, in the game now at the end of the line of scrimmage.
2nd and goal. There is Coco, top 2 tight ends out. Sims. Ball came out. And UCF recovers. Big play by Seliskar. John Seliskar, the freshman defensive end, with the fumble recovery. Just when Georgia Tech was looking to break on through again. Big stop by the Knights defense. Sims thought he had something. Next thing you know, ball's on the ground. We're going the other way. Josh Heupel, of the coaches who took jobs in 2018, best record in 2 years, 22-4.
And 3 of those 4 losses by a combined 7 points. He's done a heck of a job. And it wasn't easy to replace Scott Frost, obviously. He inherited a good roster, but man, he's put his own mark on it.
3rd and 1, McCray trying to get leverage. And he's going to be right at that line to gain. And it's a 1st down for UCF. Gabriel chased back, twists, turns, and taken down at the 6-yard line. That was Charlie Thomas with the sack. Had a couple sacks a year ago. Moved from linebacker to DB, playing at safety position this year, and comes up big and puts the Knights in a 2nd and 22 hole.
That was just a great pressure right there, and it really beat McCray badly in pass protection. You're a quarterback here, though, and you're Gabriel. Don't need to get it all back right now. Try to get half of it back, make third down a little bit more manageable.
Give to McCray. And he's met and ridden down. That was Tariq Carpenter with the tackle. Curry had a big play last week, didn't he, against Florida State? And now 3rd and 20.
Really close to a false start there by Ed Collins, the big left tackle. Held in there just long enough, though, to make sure the refs kept the flags in their pocket.
They're going to play it conservative here with McCray as he makes the most of it out to the 16-yard line. Well, it was Thomas who met him. It was Thomas who had the big play here defensively on this series to put them in the hole. Now the punt team will come on out.
And great job by Georgia Tech's defense right there. Sudden change, get off the field, you force the big negative play, throw off the rhythm of the drive, and that's what you have to do. When you're playing against a team that thrives in rhythm and tempo, you have to disrupt their rhythm by forcing them off schedule and making a negative play, at least at some point, at 1st and 2nd down.
Osteen onto punt. Blancato, the return man, as he's going poison, and it takes a great UCF bounce all the way inside the 30-yard line. With that, a chance to check in with Kevin.
Joe, time now for a protection spotlight brought to you by Allstate, where take a look at a great touchdown by Louisiana's Elijah Mitchell. A fantastic job by the line on the edge right there. Down 14, the Raging Cajuns come back to win in overtime at Georgia State, 34-31. Back to Joe, Greg, and Marty.
Thank you, Kevin. Right down the street for us. Louisiana now moves their mark to 2-0. Levi Lewis with a couple of touchdown passes. Mitchell ran for 160 yards in that game. Jemias Griffin getting some work. Jordan Mason, the starting running back, out. Our impact players brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
Well, no Jordan Mason. Instead, you now have Jahmyr Gibbs. So that's a big one. Number 21 right there. How do you like the little counter app? And then Jalen Camp going to have to win some one-on-ones against this man coverage.
Sims, as he was being pressured and then guns it to Ezzard. Nice work by Jeff Sims, the freshman quarterback who impressed everybody last week. He became the first Yellow Jacket freshman quarterback to throw for 250 yards, go for over 50 yards rushing in a game in the last 25 seasons. And he did it on the road at Florida State. Here's Griffin on 1st down. Catches that seam, gets to the edge, and scoots out at about the 49.
Fellas, watching Sims after that fumble with his body language, you would never know that he made a mistake. And that's what Jeff Collins told us this week was the most impressive thing that he saw from this young man last week. It wasn't all the accolades. It was the ability to stay even keel emotionally no matter what happened. And that's what we're seeing right now as well.
I think the mental side when you're a freshman is so critical. Everybody has physical gifts. As this time he gets it to Jack Coco. Jack Coco, who's the long snapper, who, as Marty said before we kicked off, he lost weight this offseason to be able to play tight end. He had a lineman, snapper kind of body, and there he is with Dylan Devaney and Dylan Leonard out of action, catching passes for Georgia Tech.
It's just so huge. In a year like this, knowing the uncertainty surrounding COVID and testing and guys potentially being in and out of the lineup, having depth at the position is massive. So good for Jack Coco contributing.
8-yard catch there. Now Gibbs. And Gibbs, down the line came Eric Mitchell.
I want to get back to Marty's point, too. A young player, as you're just trying to kind of figure things out, to be able to just allow it to roll off your back is remarkable. That's so difficult to do. So many guys would retreat into a hole and think, I can't make another mistake. I can't make another mistake. No, just go out there and play. And don't worry about what happened. Worry about what's coming. And Sims done a great job of that.
2nd and 8 with Gibbs out in front trying to block, but good pursuit down the line by both Montalvo and Mitchell. Cleaning that up, and it'll force a 3rd down.
And this part of the field too, Joe, knowing just how explosive this UCF offense is, it could be if you gain 3, 4, maybe 5 yards here, maybe 4 down territory for this Georgia Tech offense. Weren't afraid to go for it last week in a 4th down situation against Florida State, so would expect them to have a similar approach today by staying aggressive.
Bunch set to the bottom of your screen on 3rd and 7. They pick up the pressure. Sims with time, and with it, Brown will have the first down.
Just an excellent job here by Sims. A lot of man coverage. You see pressure on the right side. Sims drifts away. Plenty of time. Excellent job by the Georgia Tech offensive line. And when you have man coverage, you want to try to find your fastest guy crossing the field, running away. He did right there by finding Brown, throwing it accurately, and converting on 3rd down.
Gibbs, and he has nowhere to go. Randy Charlton, the junior from Miami, comes up with the tackle for UCF. Second and 7. Gibbs, long way to turn the corner. And the cutback is going to have him down at the 20-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 1. It was Bethune tracking him. Glad you're with us here for college football on ABC. Joe Tessitore, Greg McElroy, and Marty Smith. Number 14 UCF against Georgia Tech. Fireworks early on from both teams. And Yellow Jackets riding the way with Dante Smith are going to have it down just outside the 10-yard line. We had a 73-yard kickoff return to get things going. That set up a rushing touchdown by Jeff Sims, and then Dylan Gabriel and UCF came right back. Trey Nixon had a big reception as well as a touchdown catch. Antoine Collier is slow to get up down at the 1-yard line. Collier had 4 interceptions a year ago for the Knights defense.
Yeah, one of our impact players too, an important piece for a defense that does a really good job getting after the quarterback, creating negative plays, and the reason why they can do all those things up front is because of how much confidence they have in their secondary. Collier, Robinson, they have some really good pieces back there, so going to need him to hopefully make a return for this UCF defense to be at its peak.
Last week down on the road, Georgia Tech shocked a lot of folks, especially how they went about doing it. Coming back against Florida State, who opened up things early. We had a couple lightning delays in this game. And then all of a sudden, Jeff Sims settled down, settled in, and a pesky defense found their groove late. Curry had the fumble return. And then the freshman kicker, who had 3 of his kicks blocked earlier, came up big with the game winner, Jude Kelly. Griffin finding nothing there. Really well fit up by Woodson. Landon Woodson on the tackle. He's a guy who's been dealing with injuries in his career.
When you watch this defense, man, it's just amazing how disruptive they are. All you hear about all the time with UCF is how great their offense is, how explosive they are. Tell you what, man, you got to give some credit to these guys on defense. Woodson being one of them. They've really committed and have done a great job advancing.
Settle in for what looks like Atlanta. 7-7 as we start the second quarter between number 14 UCF and Georgia Tech. Sims to the end zone. Beyond Malachi Carter. The big storyline for Georgia Tech is who is not playing for them. We found out just before kickoff. They are without their starting running back Jordan Mason, who had a 19-yard touchdown last week against Florida State, as well as their top 2 tight ends. And Curtis Ryan's a defensive end who had a very strong effort last week in the upset on the road. But this is what you have to be in this day and age now, right? You have to be adaptable. You have to have roster management. 3rd and 9. Sims with time. And too much to the corner of the end zone where Brown was trying to get to that corner.
Good stand there by UCF's defense. Really hadn't done a lot of positives outside of forcing the fumble just last series. Outside of that, they've been leaky. They've allowed Georgia Tech to kind of go up and down the field. So getting a stop here was huge. And here comes the field goal unit that struggled last week.
Until Jude Kelly hit the 32-yard game-winning field goal. 27-yarder is blocked. So now 4 times in 2 weeks, Jude Kelly has had a kick blocked. It happened again. Dead center. Hancock got his hand up and rejected it. Drive, game of the week. Georgia Tech just had a 14-play, 62-yard drive that finished off with a blocked field goal. Dylan Gabriel now as he slides down on the line to make. Well, we saw this all last week, Greg, the block kicks going against Georgia Tech. Coach Collins held himself accountable. He said, we didn't go live enough in special teams in recent weeks.
That's certainly shown, obviously. And this time, the left side of the offensive line and field goal protection was the problem last week. This time it came from the right side. So leaky all over that field goal protection unit. They have to get it ironed out.
Otis Anderson was able to pick up the first down and then quickly out to Marlon Williams. And then for Kelly, he's got to elevate a little more. Got to get that ball up. But this is what happens. Listen, the operation is critical. You don't get the protection in practice. And now 3 blocked field goals and 1 blocked extra point in just a week and a half. Downfield shot, and that was just off the hands of Trey Nixon. Nixon had the big 49-yard reception as well as the 6-yard touchdown catch in the first quarter. Miles Sims with coverage there, 3rd down. 36 as Gabriel looks over to Alex Golish. Josh Heupel calls his own plays. 3rd and 6. Gabriel. And the lefty gets it over to Jalen Robinson, who makes an exceptional effort right on the sideline.
It's a great job of scramble drill there by Robinson and Gabriel. Faked like he was running over the top, got the defense chasing, and then he came back to the quarterback to make himself available. That was an excellent job of execution in the scramble drill there by the quarterback and wide receiver.
And they're going to take a look at this to see.
Rolling the field. It's a completed pass at the sideline.
Did Robinson
under further review.
Get his feet in? We'll take a break. They'll take a look.
Is brought to you by Pacific Life. More than 150 years strong. Trust in your tomorrow.
Catch stood for UCF. Jalen Robinson on the sideline.
Just a great job of executing a scramble drill. Look at this. Gabriel leaves the pocket. His receiver sails like he's going deep and then comes back to the quarterback, making himself available on the 3rd down conversion. That's such a great job of creating separation. So many young receivers. If you can learn to do that with your quarterback, you'll catch 1,000,000 passes.
Quick game now in use, and it's Robinson again. As Gabriel gets it out and Robinson streaks ahead.
Correction, Jalen Robinson.
Go to that side again. Receiver screen, but this time nowhere to go, as that was Tobias Oliver with the tackle. Had been a quarterback here for Georgia Tech. He was a starter a year ago in September. Was going up against Clemson. Now he's a corner. So many transitions in this program with the new coaching staff. And to the other side, once again, it's Trey Nixon. Trey Nixon with a good start to his day. That is the 3rd catch already for Nixon.
He just runs a hitch route and the corner's 20 yards off. Why? Because Nixon can probably still run by you.
Gabriel looking for a block on the outside, and with it, he picks up 3 more yards.
And that's what game-changing speed can do for you if you have your Nixon and really a lot of these wide receivers for UCF. When you can threaten the corners deep, they don't want to give up the big play. They'll keep it in front. You'll get a lot of easy completions underneath.
2nd and 2 as Thompson tries to get that pad leverage, but it's probably going to be about a half-yard short. Brooks with the tackle. Big Jamin Brooks, 300-pounder who wears that single 0. Gotta love when the big guy's on the inside. Flag is down. I don't know that they got off the field in time there, Greg. As you see the crew talking things over. Charles LaMartina heads up this officiating crew.
It's hard to get off the field from that far hash. Surprised that Tech went with a substitution there.
Illegal substitution. Defense number 57 did not make it to the sideline in time for the snap. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
And you always you watch this team and you look up. You can see the guys trying to chase. Ball's on the far hash though. It's rare to see a team try to substitute when the ball is that far away because it's an extra 15 yards that the defenders have to run to get lined up. So usually you see the substitutions happen when you're on the near hash, closer to your sideline. So surprising sub right there that leads to a free 5 yards for UCF. Watched obviously UCF for a long time and admired their offensive tempo. I've always admired their offensive tempo, but to see it in person is truly remarkable. It's like a well-oiled machine with how they substitute and how crisp those substitutions are, and just the comfort level of everyone on the offense with how quickly they can communicate and get the ball snapped.
And then the productivity and the scoring that comes with it. They've scored over 30 points in 37 of their last 38 games. Gabriel lofts it to the end zone, and he was looking for Harris, but it falls short and incomplete as Scholl had coverage on Jacob Harris.
Keep an eye on number 2, Otis Anderson, and at running back.
He's their do-it-all guy. Runs out of that slant formation here inside the 5 as he gets close to that line to gain. 9 yards leaves him with a 3rd and 1. Put to the line, Gabriel and Anderson. And Gabriel pulls it. Gabriel cuts back, and a flag is down as Gabriel darts ahead. And it was Thomas and Curry who made the tackle on Dylan Gabriel.
See already when UCF gets in that quick huddle, they're trying to go fast. They'll get in a bunch formation with 3 receivers to the left, and then they'll run zone read. They did it on short yardage situation earlier, did it right there. Expect them to go to that again throughout the game.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense number 68. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Pre-snap movement, that is the enemy of a tempo team.
Brutal. You see the right side of the line of scrimmage just a little bit early as the ball was getting snapped. Man, that was close.
Third down.
On UCF's offense, I might even have a little bit of a gripe there. Seemed pretty simultaneous.
What a difference. 3rd and short to 3rd and 6. Gabriel looks to the end zone. Touchdown, Marlon Williams.
Dylan Gabriel's pass was lead to number 6, Marlon Williams, for the next touchdown.
Man, this is such a long throw, but it gets there, and Marlon Williams does a great job of adjusting his body and making the catch. As you see the defender, Wesley Walker, not able to locate the football. A great throwing catch there by UCF.
But right now their team is trailing by a touchdown as Gabriel just hooked up for an 8-yard strike to Williams. 14-7 for the number 14 team in the country, UCF. Barsky punches this deep into the end zone. It's good keep away from the dangerous Jahmyr Gibbs. All right, McElroy, you ready for today's Aflac trivia question? Aflac. What head coach led both UCF and Georgia Tech to 50-plus wins at each school? This may be too easy.
This might be the first one I've ever actually known.
Too easy for
I might actually know this one. It's amazing.
We'll let it stew for a moment for those out there. Great shared history. Sims on first down as he gets it to Gibbs. And here goes Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs lowers the shoulder at the end as well against Maxwell. 23 yards there. Freshman to freshman. The future's going to be bright, isn't it?
This is big time, too. You see the all-out pressure. Nobody is going to cover Gibbs. All Sims has to do is just hang in there long enough to deliver the football, and he does so beautifully. Excellent play and awareness by the freshman quarterback.
Mitchell had his hand up, hoping he could interrupt things in that passing lane. Flag is down.
False start. Offense number 2. All 11 players did not get set prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Let's hear what Mr. Nagandi has for us. Kev?
Joe, updating you. Number 1 Clemson facing the Citadel. Only question is how long will Trevor Lawrence play today? Look at the time here, Mark.
Tons of time, and Amari Rodgers, credit to him for spinning that corner around like a top.
44-yard touchdown, 14-0. Clemson back to UCF, Georgia Tech.
Clemson will be down here on October 17th. Ball's out there. As Williams comes back to fall on it. Jordan Williams is a true freshman right tackle. Had a good week in that road win at Florida State last week. So 2nd and 18 now after that. Sims. Here's Griffin. And Griffin crosses midfield. It'll be 3rd down from there. College football rankings are brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Those college football rankings are going to have a merging lane with the Big Ten in a month.
I don't know if anyone's ever gone from 2, where Ohio State was, to unranked to potentially back to 2 or 3. It's going to be a really fascinating AP poll to follow throughout the course of this year.
And it's great to hear that the Big Ten is going to put forth the COVID protocols and return to action. 3rd and 5. Sims sprint left, extending the play, looking for an option, and has to float it out of bounds. Now, the AP says that you got to play a ball game in order to be ranked, so we're going to have a long delay before this group re-enters. But remember, in the preseason top 25, this is how the Big Ten was shaping up.
It's going to be fascinating. Of course, the SEC at that point will have kicked off, and they're around October 24th. When those Big Ten teams get back in the mix, it's going to be fascinating to watch the reaction from so many fans of college football to where those Big Ten teams end up in the polls.
Big 255-pound Presley Harvin to punt away. As he back rotates this, and it's another inside the 10 for the talented Harvin. Big Presley Harvin, who wears number 27 to honor the late Sam Foltz, a Nebraska punter who was tragically killed in a car accident back in 2016. One of the most booming legs in all of college football does the big senior from Sumter High School in South Carolina. All right, we asked you the Aflac trivia question. Now, sometimes we just got to give you a layup, McElroy. So the coach who coached both at UCF and Georgia Tech and had such success, George O'Leary, of course. George O'Leary, who means so much to Jeff Collins, the head coach here at Georgia Tech now. As McCray will be run down out of bounds.
It's pretty amazing to think, obviously, had some success at UCF. Got things going here at Georgia Tech. An impressive career that O'Leary had.
Second and 6. Gabriel pick up the pressure. He spins back to his own goal line and then heaves it down the near side. And it was very well done to get it to Marlon Williams out to the 35-yard line. Wesley Walker had coverage, but good job extending by Gabriel, and coming back to it was Williams. And then tackled for a loss. That was Charlie Thomas, who has been active in the UCF backfield. Surging in again was Thomas.
They're going to have to find an answer, a wrinkle off that zone read.
Second down, Gabriel come back into the hands of Robinson. Robinson's out at the 40-yard line. Miles Sims had coverage.
Pretty amazing just how strong Dillon Gabriel's arm is. I mean, he's throwing it from sideline to sideline with great velocity.
3rd and 6, empty look. Gabriel looking to run it himself. And he finds a seam and crosses midfield. Dillon Gabriel, the do-it-all for UCF.
It's just a baller, man. I mean, he's a baller. I don't know how else to describe it. The guy makes you miss in the open field. He's got a certain level of quickness. He's not a lightning-fast guy, but he's elusive and he's slippery. He has great feel for space. And also, like I just talked about, man, his arm strength, it really jumps off the tape, and it has so far here early in this ball game.
Injuin down. We'll take a break as they tend to him.
Tremendous command of the Knights offense. And when we spoke with head coach Josh Heupel yesterday, he said Dillon has reached that amazing place for a quarterback where confidence meets understanding. He understands the why behind the what, especially as it pertains to leverage, pace, and timing in this intricate offense. And as we've seen on a couple throws during this drive alone, he almost has as strong an arm as Greg McElroy.
He's got me. That's not up for debate. This dude's got a rocket, man.
Anderson went for 3 yards after Gabriel, before our commercial break, went for 15. And here's the lefty on that comeback to Robinson again. That has been available to them this entire first half. That's a nice connection, Gabriel to Robinson.
You just have to respect the speed that you see on the outside. So you're going to play really soft in coverage because you don't want to get run by. It's going to open up a lot of those comeback routes and hitch routes that are easy completions for Gabriel.
24 yards there. Anderson can't find anything on the outside. Chico Bennett was waiting on him.
For all the great things that they've done offensively at UCF the last 2 years, last year and this offseason more specifically, they say they really focused on the red zone and situational football. So 3rd down ability, conversion rate, and then when you get in the red zone and the field gets condensed, they put a lot of time into it. So here they are, right outside the red zone, knocking on the door.
2nd and 12, McCray catches a seam into the end zone. Greg McCray busted right through Derek Allen, and UCF, the offense is revving.
I want you to watch the action in the backfield. You're going to see pushers right here, but this is the problem. The linebacker at the second level loses the football. So as you look at it, Quez Jackson, he can't find it. He doesn't know where it is. He's unblocked, and it runs right inside of him. Quez Jackson just couldn't find McCray as he went through the hole, and it leads to a big run by UCF.
This is the pace, this is the rhythm that they're used to having for total yards of offense right now. A 21-7 lead. Dillon Gabriel, you look at the intensity. We discussed how much more confident and comfortable he is now in his sophomore year. He's a record-setting freshman, but this is a guy that the expectation of a 4-year career with so much success still yet to be found. Gibbs from the 1. And this time he is ridden down. Opened up the game with a 73-yarder. But here he is taken down by O'Keefe. And a man down now for the Knights. Reminder, Week 2 NFL Sunday at 10 a.m. with the Countdown Crew. Tom Brady's first home start as a Buccaneer. I'm going to tell you how his arrival in Tampa included an accidental home invasion. Randy Moss will rank today's best college football catches. That is coming up on Sunday Countdown. Alex Swenson still being checked over by the training staff. 11,000 fans allowed in here to Bobby Dodd today with COVID protocols. It's 20% of capacity. Georgia Tech has won 13 straight home openers, but here they are trailing by 2 touchdowns in the second quarter to UCF.
And there's going to be a really important drive for Georgia Tech's offense. As you see what they've been able to do, they've moved the football with some consistency early, really up and down the field. They fumbled, of course. Sims fumbled. And then they obviously had the missed field goal. It was blocked, actually, and then punted on this last drive. So they had a really nice rhythm offensively early in this game. But now here, down 2 scores, you got to have an answer and to at least give your defense a little bit of a rest. So get an extended drive here. Allow your defense to kind of catch their breath. It's been an awful lot of UCF here in the second quarter. They've gotten to a real nice rhythm offensively.
Good to see Swenson walking off the field. Dante Smith, he is wrapped up immediately. That was Cam Good in the backfield. Big, thick build on Cam Good. He's actually lost weight through the years at UCF. 295-pounder, extremely athletic. That's that interior defensive tackle.
That's what they do. They have great athletes, Joe. I mean, they have guys that can move and really make it difficult to engage as an offensive line. So as a result, they create a lot of negative plays.
2nd and 12. Smith. This time he's able to get himself a little bit of room out to the 22-yard line. And a 3rd down and about 7 from there.
This might be the most important play of the game so far for Georgia Tech's offense. Your defense, the last couple drives, like we alluded to, has been struggling a little bit on their heels, on roller skates. So you almost have to have a conversion here, or else you're going to give it back to UCF with great field position and a ton of momentum.
3rd down and 7 for Sims. Tried the crossing pattern to Camp, but it is incomplete, and they will be punting away. So big Presley Harvin will come back out there, and they're going to need for him to flip the field here with 5:35 remaining. He's got those tiny shoulder pads on that he still wears from high school. Andy Staples from The Athletic did a big piece on Harvin this week. Still uses those old shoulder pads. And this will run out at about the 21-yard line. Well, what do you say we head to Vegas on Monday night? Raiders are 1-0. Josh Jacobs is carrying the rock. And they go up against Drew Brees and the Saints. Allegiant Stadium debuts 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN, ABC, Deportes, and the app. And a mega cast as well, as Reese and Kirk will have coverage of Raiders Saints on ESPN2. It all gets started with Monday Night Countdown at 7:30.
I can't wait to watch that game. And Saints in particular, I love the Saints coming into this year. But now Michael Thomas sidelined with an ankle injury for quite a while. Might see Emmanuel Sanders step up there. So a lot of intrigue. And how about Alvin Kamara week 1? My goodness.
And where do you see that new stadium out there now? Of course, not going to have the fans as Thompson is wrapped up. Great pursuit by the entire front. As Dominic was the first to get to him, and then Knight wrapped it up. You know, I'm out there in Vegas earlier this year and calling all the fight. Watch that thing rise up from the ground. They're going to have a football palace there in the desert. Downfield shot, and it is complete. And once again, it's Jalen Robinson. Why not? He beat Johnson on coverage. And a man is down near midfield for Georgia Tech after the 48-yard reception by the Knights as they were racing down the field to get to the line with tempo.
And if you watch Gabriel, I mean, great throw first and foremost. But it's amazing. If you look at how the secondary is positioned for Georgia Tech, it's almost as if their entire plan is to don't let them get over the top. Look how soft in coverage they are defensively there is Johnson, and just kind of slow plays it a little bit as you see the wide receiver Robinson just go straight past him. It just shows you the speed that this UCF wide receiver core has. Even when you play soft, even when you play conservatively, and your identity defensively is to try to keep the ball in front of you, they can still get on top of you. It's unbelievable.
You like that stat line out of Jalen Robinson when you still have 5 minutes to go before the half? My man's got 6 catches for $104.
It's a pretty good start. What I like is the fact that he not only won over the top, but he's won on comebacks, and of course, as a quarterback, I love that he won on a scramble drill to bring his quarterback into a play. I mean, he's done it every which way so far, underneath, over the top. And Georgia Tech's going to need to find an answer for him because he's been a big-time impact player early in this game.
Georgia Tech also needs to find an answer for some depth at the defensive line as Jordan Dominic is helped off the field. Remember, TK Chimedza is out for the season, and Curtis Ryans is out for today. So after the big catch by Robinson, back to business for Dylan Gabriel. Quarterback design run, well blocked, and another first down. And then the ball comes out, and Georgia Tech comes up with it. That was Scholl on the recovery. It was Knight who forced it out, and Scholl who got it.
It's a big play for Georgia Tech's defense. Ball's pretty high and tight. That's just a great job by Knight, getting that right hand across Gabriel's body and swatting at the football. Usually when you see a ball pop loose like that, you think, hey, the quarterback's clearly running, it's down around his waist, it's bad ball security. Everything looked pretty dang solid right there. It's just a better defensive play and a huge stand for this Georgia Tech defense after they've really been on their heels these last few drives.
Big Sam Jackson was road grading out in front of Gabriel, and all of a sudden there's the Georgia Tech offense back to business. And here's Jeff Sims. They could use something big right here, right now, but it was just too far beyond Brown.
That's one as a quarterback. You just got to make that throw, and he will. Jeff Sims, as he continues to progress, he'll make that throw, but and your receiver's 5 yards clear of the defender on a go route. You throw it way off inside and overthrown. Got to at least give your receiver a chance. So if anything, underthrow.
Sims pulls it. Sims. That'll be a chain mover for the Yellow Jackets. Richie Grant finally was able to get to Jeff Sims.
And sometimes maybe when the quarterback's not seeing the field real well throwing it, what do you do as an offensive coordinator? Let's run it with him. Let's get him back into the rhythm. So I like it right there. Zone read, quarterback pull, makes a nice play.
Sims pressured, incomplete. What's up, Kev?
Joe, let's go back to South Bend. Take a look at Notre Dame and their offense. Taking on South Florida, Kyron Williams. He was the workhorse last week, Bug.
Some good blocking out front, and Kyron Williams does the West.
So he does that for 15 yards, but it's Ian Book finding the end zone 3 times on the ground. Notre Dame in control, 38-0. Back to you guys.
So Notre Dame putting up big numbers. Second and 10. Sims in cut and gets it complete to Ezzard. And now Georgia Tech with an opportunity here as he beat Maxwell to the inside.
That was a nice throw, and if I'm Dave Patnode, I would take a shot right here. If you're at the 50-yard line, 1st and 10, your quarterback just threw the most accurate throw he's made in probably 5 or 6 throws. I'd take a shot over the top.
Batted down, and it's intercepted. Celiscar right into his hands. A fumble recovery earlier, and now an interception for Celiscar. It was Randy Charlton who put that wall up in the face of Jeff Sims. Big-time play by UCF.
And look at number 5, Charlton, on the right side of your screen, recognizing it's quick game, knowing he's not going to get there, so he drops back into coverage, gets his hands on the football, and how about Celiscar? Look what I found! And then on top of it all, how about the friendly fire there from number 91, who basically tackled his own guy. He clipped his ankles because it might have been Celiscar to the house had it not been for Noah Hancock, who tripped him up.
Flag is down as Thompson gets the carry. And Greg, what a swing moment this could be. Georgia Tech, you had just said it. Confidence, accuracy. Here
Prior
comes
to the
Sims.
snap. False start. Offense number 73. 5-yard penalty. It is first down.
You're marching. You said, hey, take a shot. Now all of a sudden, it's UCF before the half with 3:35 to play and the ball, and they're at the 40-yard line.
Yeah, 3:35. You might as well put 20 minutes on the clock for UCF's offense. That's an eternity. So they can be mindful, too. They get a first down or two. They don't have to play with hyper speed, knowing they don't want to give the ball back to Georgia Tech.
Thompson driven back, spun back. And it was Yunjuin. Remember, came out of the game earlier. You know, the sophomore from Belgium with a tackle for loss. Sylvain Yunjuin.
They're upset about where they determined that Forrest's progress was stopped.
Well, I think the crowd reacting to the fact that they felt like Bentavious Thompson still had his feet underneath him, still was secure and trying to get ahead when Yunjuin brought him down. But it'll be a 2nd and 20. Gabriel, quick strike, quick catch this time to Harris, and Harris gets it within about half a yard of that line to gain. There's the national championship trophy presented by Dr. Pepper. And of course, 3rd and 1 as Thompson's going to be very close. There's a lot of chatter about this being a year of opportunity for the American Conference champion to make the college football playoff and go after that national championship trophy presented by Dr. Pepper. UCF to the end zone and strike it again. Trey Nixon. There is a flag down as Trey Nixon is still bent over in the back of the end zone after making what, if it stands, will be his 2nd touchdown reception of this first half.
Illegal substitution. 12 men on the field on the defense. That penalty is declined. Touchdown is good.
We just said it. What a swing opportunity it could be. Georgia Tech was marching. Georgia Tech was trying to find their rhythm. And then all of a sudden, the interception off the batted pass by Celiscar. And you put the dangerous Dylan Gabriel back out onto the field. Don't blink because they'll score.
Yeah, and he took advantage of one-on-one coverage. I mean, and if you look at obviously what's going on with the substitutions, they got extra guys on the field, but more importantly, even this, when you look at this defensive structure, I mean, you have press coverage with no over-the-top help on UCF's most dynamic wide receiver. Press coverage, no help over the top. That's automatic green light, strike up the fight song if you're a quarterback. Just got to let Nixon win. He does, wins inside, holds the red line, stays right on course, and Gabriel delivers an absolute dime. Beautiful execution from UCF's offense.
Nixon 4 catches, 94 yards, and 2 touchdowns in the first half. Dylan Gabriel, 252 yards and 3 touchdown passes already today.
This young man's impressive, man.
Isn't he?
I mean, he is something. Accurate, athletic, big arm, great instincts. Just have so enjoyed watching him play throughout the course of last year as a true freshman. When you're drinking out of a fire hose, that's what's going on as a true freshman, as a starting quarterback. He handled it with poise, but now you already see the development here in year 2, just how comfortable he is operating this tempo offense.
Now this season, for every field goal and extra point made by participating universities, All-State will make a contribution to the university's general scholarship fund. We thank All-State for that. Dylan Gabriel got to UCF in the spring of 2019. He was competing with the Notre Dame transfer, Brandon Wimbush, back then. It was Darryl Mack was around as well. Mack, of course, had already had some success for UCF. And it was Wimbush who started game 1, but Gabriel got some playing time, impressed, and then Dylan started from there on out, and he's never looked back. Kid's not cocky, but he is confident, and he has reason to be. He's matured greatly, and he's got a bright future. We asked him about the course of the past year. You know, the pandemic hit. He had to fly back to Hawaii, where he's from. He said, life seems normal a little bit. Being able to be around the guys, I'll never take it for granted again. And I think that is something that's echoed by so many of these young men who have been with their teammates since June, sacrificing, staying safe. See the palm tree on the cleats. Mililani, Hawaii is where he comes from. Sims, after the interception moments ago, is going to tuck and run here. Oh, and he takes a huge hit from Richie Grant. And the flag comes in. Open field, Sims running straight ahead, and Richie Grant came in like a missile on him.
We'll look at it, but this could potentially be targeting. It's a huge collision. We'll hear what the officials have to say as they're talking about it right now. Remember, big collision doesn't necessarily lead to an ejection. Got to check a couple boxes first.
Personal foul. Targeting. Defense number 27. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. That play is under further review.
I mean, clearly to the head or neck area.
And there's the thing, too. You have to determine, is the runner defenseless? All right, so at this point, it doesn't look like he's trying to make a slide, so therefore he loses the cloak of protection. He's not trying to make a slide there. So what you have to do is you have to identify an indicator. And an indicator is a launch or thrust or a lowering of the head to initiate contact with the crown of the helmet. And in this particular case, it looks like that head is to the side. I know it's to the head or neck area, but I don't think it's forcible contact, Joe. I think when you look at the defender, he does hit around the shoulder, but he doesn't launch, or at least it didn't appear as though he launched. So this is going to be a really difficult one, but
first of all, you brought up being a defenseless player, and you can define that as somebody who's a ball carrier who's giving himself up. We will see how they go.
Review, there is no foul for targeting. Number 27 can remain in the game.
So as big of a hit as it was, it does not meet the standard of targeting because Sims, and to your initial point, was not sliding feet first, was not giving himself up. You did not have one of the qualifiers of crown of the helmet. You did have contact upstairs, but you said look for one of the four indicators plus the forcible contact, and you don't have it there. What you have is a really big hit.
But a very legal hit. That was a great job by UCF's defense.
So a first down with 2 minutes to play. Sims, too high, too much for Jalen Camp, even as big as he is.
I think when they made the adjustments to the targeting rule before the 2019 season, that was big. Because before 2019, that would have been an ejection. Even though the defender did exactly what he was supposed to do, it was forcible contact to the head or neck area, but he didn't launch. He didn't do any of that stuff. There wasn't an indicator. So the fact that they put in that indicator, that addendum to the rule, has been really good because guys are still being protected and they're still being taken care of, but they're not getting wrongfully ejected.
2nd and 10, Sims. This time he is able to connect as he does so with P.J. Harris. Now a chance for Georgia Tech, and are they desperate for something here?
Great throw there from Sims, and plenty of time, 2-minute offense. Know that you're probably thinking touchdown more than field goal given the struggles you've had trying to kick the ball. Just be aggressive, but be mindful of the clock.
Gibbs, not much there, taken down right at the line of scrimmage by Montalvo. Anthony Montalvo, the former walk-on, guy who worked so hard in the weight room to earn himself a scholarship, got himself into a starting role a year ago.
For Georgia Tech here, this is one of those unique circumstances where, yes, you of course want to score points. That's obvious. They want to score points, but also knowing the firepower that's on the other sideline, you also have to be extremely cognizant of giving the ball back potentially to UCF with very little time left. Even if you give the ball back to UCF with 39 seconds left, with a couple timeouts, UCF could very easily turn that into a point scored opportunity as well. So not just thinking about their offense and getting points, they also are thinking very much about potentially returning the ball to UCF with very little time on the clock.
Reminder, Kevin, Mark, and Booger will have the State Farm halftime report. Get you up to speed on everything that's been happening throughout college football. Update you on Clemson, Notre Dame. You know they're way out in front. And Oklahoma State, they struggled with Tulsa today. And, of course, we had a thriller just before we came on the air with Navy in a comeback effort. Second and 10. Pressure straight up the middle against Sims as he escapes it and then turns inside the 30 to the 26-yard line. 2 timeouts remain for Georgia Tech, a minute 30 and counting. It was Seliscar who brought the pressure on Sims. And Tech is going to use a timeout here. So Coach Collins will talk things over with his true freshman quarterback. It's pretty interesting to see what Navy did today, wasn't it, after the struggles against BYU? I guess they practiced the tackling a little better this week, right?
Well, you mentioned it at the beginning. I mean, think about how much better you get from week 1 to week 2. Well, I mean, goodness gracious, that was a monumental improvement from Navy, even though the beginning of the game did not go according to plan, but found a way to get back into it and steal it there at the end of the game. So credit to their players for hanging in there, and credit to their coaching staff for getting those guys acclimated to the 2020 season over the last couple weeks.
Glad we have the AT&T 5G Skycam with you today from Bobby Dodd Stadium with 11,000 fans here to see number 14 UCF against Georgia Tech. 3rd and 3. And Sims finds something before the half. He wants more than just a first down as he was looking to Adonicus Sanders, and that goes incomplete. We'll leave him a 4th and 3.
And this is a spot, Sims, all part of the maturation process. And if you watch over the middle of the field, he's got Malachi Carter, I mean, just wide open in the middle of the field. It's 3rd and 3. Throw it to 15, get yourself a conversion, fresh set of downs. Instead, he's thinking big play, drive it down the field, forgets about his check down. And now they're in a 4th and 3 spot when they should have 1st and 10 if their quarterback would have found the underneath player.
4th down and 3. Trailing by 21 at home in the first half. And he's going to get it to Camp, and Camp is going to have a 1st and goal opportunity for the Yellow Jackets. As he was able to get past Collier there. And quick to the line, 1st and goal. As he will clock it, 1 timeout remaining.
And I'm really surprised by that. It doesn't make any sense. To clock it, you waste it down, and 2, you stop the clock. You have plenty of time to get up, get yourself a play, and like we alluded to, you do not, under any circumstance, want to give the ball back to UCF. So force them to use some of their timeouts. Clocking it there and stopping it, I don't agree with that decision at all.
Dave Patino, the offensive coordinator. He was with Coach Collins for a couple years at Temple as well. Had a lot of success passing the ball there in Philly with the Owls, and now they get this true freshman quarterback to develop here at Georgia Tech with Jeff Sims. Matching points with UCF, not an easy thing to do. See if they can cut into this lead before the half. Sims looking right, comes back to center to the end zone. That could have been caught for a touchdown, but dropped by Jalen Camp as coverage came from Richie Grant, who had that big hit moments ago.
Yeah, and almost in pass interference, too, from Richie Grant. You see him contact Jalen Camp. That should have been pass interference to me. I mean, he basically forces Camp to stop. A good job of Camp fighting through it and a good throw there, but surprised that wasn't a pass interference on UCF's defense.
And a timeout is going to be used by the Knights.
UCF takes their first charge timeout of the half. This is a 30-second timeout.
You know, so often when you sit here and you do a UCF game in recent years, the conversation will always gravitate towards putting them up against the Power 5 conferences and where do things fall when it comes to potential of a G5 team making the college football playoff. Now, that conversation was different just a few days ago. Then the Big Ten makes the announcement. But obviously, you get just a few opportunities, and especially this year with the schedules that have been thinned down, UCF needs to win a game like this against an ACC team. Now they probably need a little chaos elsewhere.
They do. And now with the Big Ten's involvement, that obviously throws a bit of a wrench in the equation. But here's my checklist for a group of 5 teams' path to the playoff. It's very,
Please
very
reset
possible.
The game clock to 119.
You have to go undefeated. That goes without saying. You've got to look good doing it. That's the style points. Win big in the biggest moments. And then I think you also are a little bit at the mercy of what happens within the Power 5 leagues. Just knowing naturally by way those teams are navigating throughout their Power 5 schedule, their strength of schedule and their strength of resume is going to be better. So they're going to need a Power 5 team that finishes runner-up in their conference to have at least 2 losses. But I think it's a very real possibility, and this UCF team is as capable as any.
Now, listen, the Big Ten's not starting until October 23rd, 24th, so there's not a lot of wiggle room when it comes to what they can afford to do. Got to keep that schedule intact. Here they are on 3rd and goal. Sims with time, and with the score is Gibbs. They had to have that. Absolutely had to have it. 9-yard touchdown catch for Jahmyr Gibbs. And it is a new kicker now, as Gavin Stewart is taking over the place kicking duties for Jude Kelly, who has had 4 kicks blocked so far in 2 games. So Stewart, the new place kicker now for Georgia Tech, and he's able to put it up and through.
And it was a beautiful drive from Georgia Tech. Had to have it, like you alluded to, Joe, and a really nice throw there from Sims to Gibbs. I still go back to spiking it on 1st down, though, because now you're giving the ball back to UCF, whose offense has been, for the most part, unstoppable today, with around 75 seconds and 2 timeouts. If you hadn't spiked the ball on 1st and 10, then you might be giving it back to them with 34 seconds left, knowing a 40-second play clock. So that decision on 1st down could come back to bite them, knowing how UCF's been able to move the ball up and down the field throughout the course of the first half.
Minute 14 away from Kevin, Mark, and Booger. With all the highlights and everything going on in the sport today. Notre Dame and Clemson absolutely rolling. Pitt looked good in ACC action today, as did Jeff Hafley's debut as the head coach of Boston College with an impressive win against Duke. As we take a look at today's Crunch Time, brought to you by Cheez-It.
Boy, was it ever crunch time, because UCF was really doing a nice job, and Sims got into a rhythm. Got some confidence, moved in the pocket nicely on that drive, ran in the open field, threw the ball very accurately. But there was a lot of really positive momentum that was created on that drive, not just for the offense as a whole, but for their quarterback, who's going to need to have a big second half to get Georgia Tech back within striking distance.
Had a big second half last week. Remember last week at Florida State, he had the 2 first-half interceptions. Then he went to the locker room, he texted his dad.
I love
his
it.
dad calmed him down.
That's awesome.
And then he got that comeback at Florida State, overcame the 2 first-half interceptions, played really mature in leading the comeback and brought them back from 10. That is batted right in the face of Dylan Gabriel. That was Jordan Dominic who got his hands up. 6'3" defensive end from Lakeland, Florida.
If you're UCF offensively, I'd usually say at this part of the field, I wouldn't go super high-octane tempo until I got 1 first down. But knowing how well Gabriel's playing, I'd turn the Jets on right now.
Anderson can't find much against the middle of that defensive line. Good work by Quez Jackson. Quez Jackson, who really flashed in that upset win at Florida State. He had 9 tackles at his first career interception a week ago.
These two receivers for UCF have been big so far coming up. Critical third down. See if they look in the direction of number 1, Robinson.
Offsides by a mile, so take a shot. And it's incomplete as he was looking for Jacob Harris streaking down the near side. And Jordan Dominic was coming out of that block a little too anxious.
Offside. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat. Third down.
To go. All on the 32-yard line.
3rd and 3. Anderson, and he kept his balance and gets a little more before he is ripped down by Thomas.
It's a great cut by Anderson. Now if I'm UCF, it's time to tempo. Full speed. Try to steal some points before half.
Gabriel, downfield strike, ball in the air, and it falls harmlessly to the ground, leaving them 21 ticks on the clock. That was Wesley Walker back there in coverage.
Most teams, I think, given where they're out on the field, 21 seconds left, they'd probably just take it to the locker room. Not UCF. You got to think they're still going to keep their foot on the accelerator. See if they can't get a big play.
Anderson, nothing happening on the left side.
Yeah, that might be it.
And that clock is going to run down.
He stands out. He was actually 15 of 18, and then one I thought was still a very accurate throw. So he's only really missed 2 throws. Pretty impressive in one half of football.
He's in good company too. This kid's been like a razor against this Georgia Tech company. 252 passing yards in the first half, the most Georgia Tech has allowed since giving up 262 to Deshaun Watson in the first half when they played Clemson back in 2006. Here's a little bunt onside to try to start the second half. Risk reward, and they don't pull it off as UCF is able to come up with it. Marty.
Tess, I talked to Josh Heupel as he exited the locker room chatting with his team. As proficient as UCF's offense was in the first half, would you believe they actually were a bit stymied in the first couple drives? He said Georgia Tech came out in a completely different defensive structure than that which they prepared for or expected, so they had to adjust, and he said they did that very well as the first half progressed and went on. He also said that his quarterback, Dylan Gabriel, has been extremely decisive, which he loves.
As he connects here with Harris, who gets it just inside the 40. What did you make of going for the bunt onside kick to start the second half?
I like it because your defense has struggled at times throughout the course of this game. So try to create some momentum, steal some momentum off the top. I don't mind it.
Here's McCray on 2nd and 1, and that'll be a first down for UCF. Tackle by Quez Jackson for Georgia Tech.
But referencing what Marty just said, because of how many guys Georgia Tech's down along the defensive line, they've had to go to a 3-down structure.
Gabriel with time, and the lefty puts it out there looking for the comeback as he is connected with Jalen Robinson a few times today. Robinson had 105 yards in the first half.
And Robinson and Trey Nixon have done a great job trying to be a wide receiver 1A and 1B as opposed to a wide receiver 1. Just cover those guys equally because both showed early in this game they are very capable on the downfield contested 50-50 balls.
McCray not finding much there. David Curry waiting for him, and coming out with the ball was Quez Jackson. As everybody's standing back at the 35-yard line, and Quez is going to have a long jog to his teammates. So it goes for a 1-yard run for McCray, and McCray is still down at the end of that play.
Yeah, he was tackled awkwardly. Just kind of leg twisted up, it looks like, underneath the defender that brought him down. That looked painful. Hopefully he's okay. He battled.
Prior to the snap, full start. Offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty. It is 3rd down.
Makes for a 3rd and 14. See if this Georgia Tech defense can come up with a stop here after they try the onside kick to open up this second half. Gabriel's going to check down to Anderson, who's able to turn the corner. And Anderson will get a chunk of that back, as it was finally run down by Carpenter. But they will quickly get to the line on 4th down here.
Watch for the zone read. That's what they ran in the first half in a hurry-up situation with this bunch formation.
Josh Heupel, he wants his offense to be able to snap that ball. Ball mechanics are so important with the officiating crew, with the tempo of UCF. Fourth down and 3.
Four on the play clock and at the hustle.
Hit double zeros. And a timeout is going to be used by Coach Heupel.
UCF calls their first charge timeout of the half. This is a 30-second timeout.
And with that, a chance to look at today's Pacific Life game summary.
And you look at the numbers. Georgia Tech early in the game was able to move the ball, a lot of efficiency those first 3 drives, then kind of slowed it down and then got it going there at the end of the first half. But if you look at UCF, I mean, the big thing right there, the 3rd down conversion, 7 of 9. It's been pretty remarkable. And by the way, on those 2, they've also done a really good job on 4th down. They had a 4th down conversion early in the game, have another opportunity potentially here for a 4th down conversion. So really haven't had many opportunities.
That was Wanye Thomas. So back and forth we go. Charlie Thomas came charging in. The other Thomas collects it. We go turnover on downs, turnover with the fumble, interception. And now a chance for redemption to settle in for this offense.
Just a great job of applying pressure to the quarterback's throwing arm. Charlie Thomas bringing in the outside. Look at Otis Anderson right there, number 2, the running back. Doesn't know who to block, so he goes inside, which allows Thomas to come free on the outside. That's an overloaded pressure. Got to get rid of the football.
Back to business, and a shot downfield and incomplete. Now remember last week that a flag comes down here as there was some contact between Robinson and Brown. Remember last week there was the second half comeback at Florida State from the true freshman quarterback Sims. He settled in after a couple interceptions in the first half.
Pass interference, offense number 2. Half the distance to the goal. It is 1st down.
And that had to do last week settling down because of a text he made at halftime, Marty.
Tess, Jeff Sims told me this week that before every game his father gives him a pep talk. Don't be a superhero. Stay within yourself. Lead the team. Well, after a difficult first half last week against Florida State, he did what you said. He texted his dad, "What do you see that I'm doing wrong?" He said, "Man, you're fine. Just calm down." And Sims said right then, it flipped. He was calm. So I wondered, what did Dad text him today at halftime. What was your message to your son on text at halftime today?
Well, I just reminded him that it's a long game. Y'all still in it. Hey, y'all, they got a good offense. Y'all got a good offense. So just stay in the game and just make it a game. Don't worry about nothing. Just make it a game.
Fatherly advice, gentlemen. Always welcome.
It is. And perhaps somebody could have given Marty some advice on the magenta pants choice today, Greg. The shocking pink, the razzle-dazzle rose, the purple pizzazz out of Mr. Smith. 2nd and 19. Sims, ball came out there. And a fight for it in the end zone. And they're still loose. And finally, Montalvo gets the recovery for a touchdown. What an absolutely outrageous past couple minutes of football. Back and forth with turnovers. And now a fumble recovery for a touchdown for Anthony Montalvo.
Let's take a look here. As Sims is trying to release the ball, they get a hand on it. Is his arm moving forward? Oh my goodness, it's so close as Charlton clearly makes contact. They're going to review it. They review all scoring plays.
Of a fumble.
And we'll see whether that arm was moving forward or if UCF will have that 3-touchdown lead after all. Still in his hand. And as it's starting to move forward, you see Charlton get a hand on the quarterback's arm. I think it's a correct call. It's really, really close. But I agree with it, especially as the ball travels forward and the arm's traveling forward. I agree with the call of incomplete pass.
So now big man Presley Harvin will set up at the 5 to punt away to the dangerous Otis Anderson, a preseason All-America punt returner, who's going to let it scatter, and it's going to take a huge Presley Harvin roll. You put 255-plus pounds behind a punt, and you jog yourself to a fist bump off to the side. Reminder tonight at 11 Eastern on the ACC Network, it is The Huddle, as the guys will give the complete breakdown of all 7 of today's ACC games. If you don't have the ACC Network, go to getaccn.com for instant access. Of course, interesting to discuss Notre Dame as an ACC team this year. They absolutely rolled. I was very impressed by Pitt's defense. Number 25 got past Syracuse 21-10, and very impressed by Phil Jurkovec, the Notre Dame transfer, now starting quarterback at BC. They beat Duke 26-6. Of course, the big one in the ACC comes tonight right here on ABC. Miami at Louisville. Fun night of football still ahead. Thompson shakes free, and Thompson weaves his way for a UCF first down. And Tavius Thompson, who led the team a year ago with 8 rushing touchdowns.
And he's the guy that you want to lean on the second half. Bigger body, downhill runner. When legs are tired on defense, I want that big body back that's really physical in there to make that defense feel his pain.
Ball start. Offense, number 87. 5-yard penalty. First down.
We've seen a bunch of penalties so far from UCF. And it's their first game. It's to be expected. You clean it up. But that has got to be a little disappointing for Josh Heupel, given where they were last year in penalties. They had the second most penalties in the American Conference with 111. They got to clean that up in the weeks to come, because that was a real point of emphasis in the offseason, and it clearly hasn't helped them at any point today.
Because of COVID concerns, they did not have officials in training camp for the past month and a half. Gabriel. It was nowhere near Jalen Robinson. It was Walton who had coverage. It'll be a 3rd and 13, and another opportunity for this Georgia Tech defense. And a 20% capacity, but still enough noise to make for a home field setting here in Atlanta. Money down, the way they like to call it. Will they cash in on 3rd and 13? Anderson taken down at the 28-yard line by Knight. So they do their job. Punt return team will trot on out.
So you got to be impressed with Georgia Tech defensively. Obviously got a hand after sudden change, intercepted the pass. Now they force a 3 and out. You got to be really impressed with some of the things they've done halftime. Make sure their guys on defense are dialed into what the Knights are doing offensively.
Andrew Osteen, a sophomore from Enterprise, Alabama. And there is a flag here. There's 4th and 6.
Offside. Defense number 37. Entering the neutral zone, causing the offense to false start. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
It remains 4th down because of that tackle that Knight made moments ago. Anderson gets 1 more yard, and they would have been moving the chains.
Yeah, and if I'm Georgia Tech, I mean, they might give it to him just on the substitution here.
Yep, they may. Because they're bringing out David Curry and some of the safe look of the first-team defense.
Takes their first charge time out of the half.
And with that confusion and with that substitution, Georgia Tech is forced to burn the timeout. The little things that happen with game management. 4th and 6, everybody's calm. 4th and 1, let's get the other guys out there.
Yeah, and if I were UCF, I might have faked it there. I really would have. I mean, or this might be something that Josh Heupel and maybe schools around the country think about. You know how when you're on offense and you see guys running off, a quarterback can quick snap it. We heard Peyton Manning forever say, Omaha Blue Go, right? Omaha, that was how you snapped it fast. Maybe you have to do that now with punt, because that would have been a free first down had they snapped it and Georgia Tech had 12, 14, or 15 guys on the field in substitution.
4th and 1, Osteen. See if he can turn one over and drive this downfield. Ezard is back deep. It's a wobbler knuckler, and it is fair caught at the 24-yard line. Around the Power 5, the big news this week that the Big Ten returns to play October 23rd and October 24th. We wait to hear word on the Pac-12. Read some reports that there could be a decision made by Thursday of this week. Big Ten putting out their schedule. Nebraska, Ohio State going to get after it in that first week when they return. There's Gibbs. Gibbs makes his way to the 29-yard line.
I have a feeling Nebraska, look, they've been a big part of the group within the Big Ten that have been pushing to play, wanting to play, exploring every possible option. Well, be careful what you wish for. You got Ohio State week 1.
Right, exactly.
It's going to be tough.
Welcome back to football. Now here's Ohio State. And here is Gibbs, who gets the corner, and you can see the burst that Gibbs has. Gibbs was a phenom at Dalton High School last year. He went for over 2,500 yards and 40 touchdowns. One of the ranking services had him as the #2 all-purpose running back recruit in the country.
I got this quote from Jeff Collins. This is a direct quote from Jeff Collins about Jahmyr Gibbs. I'll tell you after this snap.
What a tease that was, McElroy.
You can't leave now. You can't.
I can't leave. Nobody go away. McElroy's got a quote. Trying to get away from a TFL, and he does. And then finally, it's Collier. All right, what did Coach Collins say?
Quote unquote, bro, he's Reggie Bush, dude. That was it. Bro, he's Reggie Bush, dude. That was it. And it's amazing because I get what he's saying. The guy's quick. He's agile. He's capable in the passing game. Remember, he caught a touchdown earlier. And I think his route running ability for a guy that's this young is exceptionally encouraging. So,
timeout.
And it's been fun to watch both him and Sims as they kind of revitalize this Georgia Tech offense here in 2020.
That's not a good sign for UCF, as Antoine Collier, their senior safety, is still down at the end of that play.
It's the second time he's been down, man. I hope he's okay. And we talked to a lot of coaches. They're very concerned about everything as it relates to injuries because of their OTAs or abbreviated guys in and out of the lineup, what have you. A lot of coaches very concerned about how ready their players are to handle the rigors of a college football season. So a lot of coaches very concerned about that and hoping it doesn't rear its ugly head for any of their teams here this season.
Well, they're still tending to Collier. Now, you mentioned the quote from that guy right there, Jeff Collins. and without the need to get deeper into the colloquial prose of bro, he's Reggie Bush, he is versatile, and this is how our game started, just to remind you, and this is the debut of the true freshman from Dalton, Georgia, but how he can impact the game in so many different ways, a 73-yard kickoff return.
And that's the way to get started, right? The first time you touch the football at this level and you almost take it to the house. That's 30 for 30 stuff there. And you can just see the top end speed. But look, a lot of guys are fast. A lot of guys are strong. Even as freshmen, guys are more ready to step in to a featured role early in their career than ever before. They're more ready to handle that. But what I've been impressed with both him and Sims is their instincts, their ability to impact the game in more than one way. Like you said, special teams and the passing game as a running back. Sims, not just through the air, but with his legs. I mean, it's just really encouraging to watch these young guys work.
And Ezzard is able to corral that. And Ezzard will get it to the 46-yard line. So it'll be a third and about a long 2 for Georgia Tech. To Sims, looking for a first down and unable to find it as he was trying to connect with a Marion Brown. Aaron Robinson stepping up defensively. He's the senior who started his career at Alabama.
Looked like for a second Georgia Tech was thinking maybe they'll go for it, keep the offense on the field, but I agree with this. Look, your defense has played well here early in the second half. Punt it, see if you can't pin UCF deep in their own end.
It's Harvin. Tries to pin him, and Anderson will make the fair catch at the 12-yard line. Biggest moments of the game brought to you by Samsung QLED TV.
Dylan Gabriel, man, has just done a remarkable job all game long. Accurate with the football, driving the ball both on the underneath throws and then the more difficult throws down the field. He's been decisive, he's been accurate, and he's allowed those guys on the perimeter to go up and make plays for him. However, it has not been a great start to the second half. He's completed, of his last 9 throws, he's only completed 3 of them. And that dates back to the 2-minute drive before the end of half. So he needs to get back into a rhythm and get comfortable here in the end of this ball game.
This guy can help. Otis Anderson, their utility back. You'll see him all over the field. He goes for 5 yards there. And right back to flank Gabriel. Took his time, patiently found the hole. Ball came out at the end there as Georgia Tech is pleading for the turnover. But they are saying no, there's a first down for the Knights. David Curry made the tackle. Anderson again. As he's getting some steady work.
That's 3 straight plays. Basically the exact same offensive snap, just up and inside zone read.
It's been a part of the program for a long time, Otis Anderson. Long enough to have scored a touchdown in that Peach Bowl win over Auburn at the end of the unbeaten 2017 season. Second and 6, a little bit of pressure from Georgia Tech. They pick it up, and an opportunity downfield. And incomplete as he was trying to connect with Ryan O'Keefe, the sophomore from Austin, Texas. Wesley Walker was there defensively for the Yellow Jackets.
A little bit late there from Dylan Gabriel on the deep ball. Had a man, just underthrew him. And here, pretty critical down and distance. And a guy that's been quiet here in the second half has been Jalen Robinson, number 1. Let's see if they look in his direction at the top of the screen. He had a big first half and hasn't had many opportunities.
Third down and 6. And it's going to be a first down, and Marlon Williams out past midfield.
That's a good job there by Dylan Gabriel. They're doubling right now, both with a safety and a corner. They're doubling Jalen Robinson on the left side, which means you have one-on-one opportunities to the right. find your guys, find the best matchup that you can find. And that time, like you alluded to, the slot, Marlon Williams breaks free on an outbreaker and turns it into a big play.
Wesley Walker is getting the attention of the medical staff. You know, Dylan Gabriel, unique backstory, obviously. Told you he comes from Hawaii. Played for the same high school in Hawaii as Mackenzie Milton. Mackenzie Milton, the former star quarterback for UCF, who is still in the midst of recovering from that devastating injury back in 2018. But there's been some good news lately with Milton, and that is he's working out, he's running, he's doing agility drills, not practicing, and does have a year of eligibility remaining when he is able to return. That was a devastating knee injury to close out that 2018 season against their rivals. And I mean, Greg, what this guy has endured.
It's amazing, and it's honestly, it's inspiring to see just how hard he's working to try to get back for his teammates, man. And it's upsetting as a fan of college football, because when he was on the field, it was electric. You had to watch. He was one of the most exciting players in college football. I legitimately think, Tess, he had Heisman Trophy possibilities. I really believe that. As UCF continued to grow and to become more of a brand and more recognizable nationwide, and they did so under his leadership, man. And it's got to be so hard for him to stand on the sideline. And I know he's proud of what Dylan Gabriel and this offense has become, but I think all of us as fans of college football, it's a better game when Mackenzie Milton's available, so hopefully he will be soon enough, but still making a positive impact on this team, whether he's on the field or not.
Back to action here. Thompson, not much there, tackled by David Crow.
Note on Mackenzie Milton. Georgia Tech defensive coordinator Andrew Thacker told us yesterday, quote, "I live the nightmare of Mackenzie Milton." Mackenzie Milton was one of the elite college football players in this country, bar none, no question. Do not get it twisted. That dude was awesome.
Sure was. 2nd down and 8. He played a role in recruiting Dylan Gabriel, telling his coaching staff, take a look at the guy back at my old high school who was backing me up when I was a senior. He was a freshman. Dylan's father, Garrett, was a quarterback at the University of Hawaii. And so it was tough for the Southpaws in high school to get noticed. Boy, is he getting noticed now. Rainbows it down to Ryan O'Keefe, but that is forced out of bounds. And that was Carpenter who had coverage on O'Keefe. Gabriel today over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. Also has run for 30 yards. Repping his home state. From Hawaii to Central Florida. And now facing a 3rd and 8. 3-man rush, and with that, they're going to dump it down to Anderson. And Carpenter was tracking defensively.
You got to think that call was to set up a 4th down possibility underneath, and a good play by Carpenter to make the play in the open field. But here, 4th down, see what you're going to get defensively. Expect them to take a picture here.
4th down 5.
There you go. They take a picture. Now you see what they're in defensively. You got man coverage to the top.
4th and 5, looking for something. Pressure on him, and it's incomplete. His only option was Williams.
That play was just kind of broken from the beginning. Williams kind of ran at it, half speed at best. There's kind of an odd protection up front. I think the running back was on the wrong side. That was unusual. Appeared like they didn't have everything kind of dialed in to what they were wanting to do offensively on the critical 4th down. You can see Williams is clearly very upset and demonstrative.
A little something extra for Ivy. He was upset there. Dante Smith. He's able to find something, then keep his balance for a little extra as he gets to the 40-yard line. First down on the first play for Georgia Tech. Can they cut this to a touchdown deficit? Smith remains in with Sims in the backfield. Stack release to the top as he will give it to Smith again. And Smith will make his way inside the 35-yard line.
Like to see Georgia Tech get a little bit into that tempo, get their offense jump-started a little bit. Haven't done a whole lot here in the second half. Haven't been able to sustain many drives. Like to see them work themselves into a little bit more of a rhythm, but opting to play a little slower and be demonstrative before the snap.
2nd and 4. Low snap. Sims going to keep it himself, but he has wrapped up by Eric Gilliard. Good play by the junior linebacker. Reminder that it's UFC Fight Night tonight from Vegas. Tyron Woodley against Colby Covington. And that starts with the prelims at 5 Eastern on ESPN+. Main card at 8. 3rd down and 2.
If I'm Georgia Tech, I might try to catch him napping here. You can come back on 4th down, maybe go for it. Take a shot over the top on 3rd and 2. A press coverage man on the outside of the top.
3rd and 2. Instead, they keep it on the ground, and they will have that first down from the freshman Jahmyr Gibbs as Richie Grant wrestles him to the sideline.
That's one where I'd like to just try to steal one, right? Everyone thinks you're going to run it 3rd and short. Probably going to go for it on 4th down either way. What do? Maybe catch them by surprise, throwing over the top of their heads. But here, top of the red zone, they're running the ball with a lot of efficiency. Man, at some point, you have to take advantage of the press coverage that you have on Jalen Camp. He's at the top of the screen. There's no one over the top. You got to throw a go ball at some point.
Corner blitz, they pick it up. It was deflected and then touched again by Gilliard before it bounces incomplete. It was Charlton who got his arm first up in the face of Jeff Sims' passing alley.
Look what Charlton, man, he's made some plays.
He sure has.
I mean, he has made some plays today. He has popped. And man, is that encouraging. This defensive line, very disruptive, but Charlton, man, he showed up and has made some serious impacts throughout the course of this ballgame.
2nd and 10. Boy, would it be big for Georgia Tech to get something here before the 4th quarter. Sims shakes free for a moment and then couldn't find room out on the edge as he ran into Robinson and Grant. 3rd down and 9.
If you look at UCF defensively, they are just straight up in the face of these Georgia Tech receivers saying, hey, let's go. One-on-one, man coverage. I'm going to press you at the line of scrimmage. And the only way you're going to beat me is by throwing it over my head. It's a direct challenge to these wide receivers. And so far, Georgia Tech has not opted to take advantage of that aggressive coverage. Let's see what they play here on 3rd and long.
Empty set with Gibbs split out to the top of your screen. Now he motions back. 3rd and 9. Sims, what does he have? Up in the air and incomplete. So this golden opportunity. And now the pressure as they look up at that scoreboard. 2-touchdown deficit. Minute 13 to play in the 3rd. Now 4th and 9. With the ball in the UCF 27.
Completely agree with this, Joe, too, by the way. I mean, your field goal kicking unit has been, for lack of a better word, a problem. It really has. So
would that be a euphemism for a disaster?
I was going to say disaster, but I just didn't feel like it was the right time. But I think right here, man, you got to keep your offense on the field. I agree with this call.
4th down and 9. Can they stay alive here on this drive? Sims pressured, spins free, looking to tuck, and he's going to come up well short. As a flag comes down late, Hancock and Woodson able to corral Jeff Sims. Let's check on the flag.
The runner did not reach the line to gain. After the play, dead ball, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 0.
Wow.
The series ended. The ball will belong to UCF. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
So because the personal foul happens after the turnover on downs, the penalty does not keep possession with Georgia Tech.
Yeah, and a big, big missed opportunity there from Jeff Sims and Georgia Tech. I want you to see how he gets out of trouble. It's pretty amazing, actually. Spins out, does a great job buying time, and he's got two guys right there. 1, 2, and then there's one defensive player that's in limbo. Instead, he tucks it, becomes a runner far too early. If he keeps his eyes downfield, he's got a chance to hit Camp at the front right pylon for a touchdown, or if nothing else, you get it to Gibbs underneath. He makes the guy miss. You got a fresh set of downs. Just got to keep your eyes downfield when you break the pocket.
Otis Anderson tackled in the backfield. That was a good surge again by Charlie Thomas. He has been so active today. You know, a lot of times receivers walk back to the quarterback, say, I was open, and you don't mind it anything. Jalen Camp's going to have a little something to say in film, ain't he?
Yeah.
2nd and 13. Gabriel now from his own end zone. And that is incomplete as Robinson couldn't hold on. So just over a half minute to play, and it'll be a 3rd and 13, but this is what Jeff Sims wasn't able to see. Jalen Camp.
And he is wide open. Really only 2 defenders on that side of the field, but you can't look back. You got to look forward. Jeff Sims learned that last week. Let's see how he bounces back if his defense can get him the ball back.
There was some movement.
Full start. Offense, number 1. Half the distance to the goal. It is 3rd down.
There have been so many opportunities for UCF, and they just continue to make pre-snap penalties. They got to stop doing this. They're absolute drive killers and making what is a very dynamic, fast, difficult offense to defend. It's making it manageable because they're off schedule.
3rd and 17. We'll just keep it with Anderson. Final moments here of this 3rd quarter. Number 14 UCF up 14 as college football presented by Chick-fil-A. We continue with Dr. Pepper's championship drive game of
Timeout
the week.
For injured player.
Charlie Thomas is that injured player for Georgia Tech. Charlie Thomas, who's had a very big game so far today for Andrew Thacker's defense.
So what, this Georgia Tech defense, it was not easy there about midway point of the 2nd quarter. They had no answers. Tell you what, though, in the 2nd half, though, man, they have come to play. They've been sound. They've taken advantage of some self-inflicted mistakes by UCF, pre-snap penalties. They've gotten the ball back after their offense turned it over. I mean, this Georgia Tech defense deserves some credit. They're keeping what is a very difficult offense to defend. They're keeping them in check and giving their offense a chance here when most teams would have a very, very tough time keeping this offense quiet for as long as Georgia Tech has.
An offense and a program that is conditioned to success. UCF is one of 6 teams with 35 wins over the past 3 seasons. And you think about those others. You're talking Bama and Ohio State and Georgia and Oklahoma and, of course, Clemson. But that is the company they keep when it comes to pure wins in recent years. That undefeated team in 17, 12 wins in 18, and then last year, double digits again, a 10-3 record. Thomas up on his feet. Nice to see that. You know, it's interesting. You talk about that team last year that went 10-3, and look at that list. 35 wins over the last 3 seasons.
It's amazing.
And Gabriel, when he was a freshman quarterback, he didn't throw an interception in any of the 10 wins. The 7 interceptions came in the losses. Game against Pitt, Cincinnati, and the stunner against Tulsa. 7 consecutive throws when the Yellow Jackets bring pressure.
Yeah, and they've brought a lot. Usually UCF, their offensive line, their best weapon offensively is their tempo. But when you haven't been able to sustain drives, you can't get into those tempos. So therefore, the Yellow Jackets defense are able to tee off a little bit. So it's been really interesting to watch the plan and the cat and mouse game going on between UCF's offense and Georgia Tech's defense.
And now it's Sims in this offense that needs to find a rhythm, and he's going to have a first down completion to Malachi Carter. Carter, who had the game-time touchdown catch last week in the fourth quarter against Florida State. Can he come up with some fourth-quarter magic here today? There was some movement pre-snap, and I think it was Jack Coco, who, keep in mind, the top 2 tight ends are out today, so the long snapper is playing tight end, getting the starting role.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense number 15. 5-yard penalty, first down.
They're also going to tag Malachi Carter there as well, but you saw Coco starting to motion to the inside. There he is. Jack has worked hard to get himself onto the field as a tight end. So Dylan Devaney, Dylan Leonard, both out, top 2 tight ends. Starting running back from a week ago, Jordan Mason out for Georgia Tech.
It's 1st and 15, ball in midfield.
Ball cresting right at midfield. Jemias Griffin, nice lane. Ball came out at the end there, and he rolled over and secured it. He goes ahead for 8 yards.
Timeout.
Conference star team trying to beat an ACC team. 2nd and 7. Sims. Little escapability, but a little too much muscle downfield, looking for Marquez Ezer. I'll leave him with 3rd and 7. Georgia Tech trailing here at home to the 14th ranked team in the country, UCF, who's trying to have their 5th win against a Power 5 conference opponent since 2017, or as they like to say, non-conference Power 6 opponent.
I love it.
3rd and 7. Gibbs. Can Gibbs get there? He can. Jahmyr Gibbs, the freshman running back, showing that spark, and a first down for the Yellow Jackets.
That was a nice run there, and a little bit of a surprise on 3rd and long. Handed to the freshman. Good job up front. Moving some guys off the spot. Gibbs dragging Charlton for a first down.
First down. He's going to get after it again. And look at the speed and the spark and the score from Gibbs. Just what Georgia Tech needed. We got ourselves a game. Defense has tightened up. Offense got exactly what they had to have, thanks to the freshman Gibbs.
Kicking out, they allowed Jahmyr Gibbs to secure the edge.
Take us through it, Greg.
Let's do it one more time, all right? Just for good measure, all right? They have the counter, and they're trying to secure the edge, which allows Gibbs to fake to the inside and get to the outside. Watch the left guard, Jack DeFore, and then the former long snapper, Jack Coco, secure that edge, and then he's off to the races. This kid, Jahmyr Gibbs, so highly regarded coming out of high school, big-time recruit in the most recent signing class, and very, very high hopes for him over the course of his career. You see those jets that he put on as he raced to the end zone against a really fast defense. He wasn't to be outdone.
Gabriel quickly to the outside to Williams. Let's go to the studio to Kevin.
Joe, Miami buses rocking and ready as they roll into Louisville. Our only ranked matchup of the weekend is less than an hour away in prime time. Back to you guys.
Looking forward to that. Downfield, incomplete. Williams was streaking there. Rhett Lashley, and what that offense could potentially be this year. Who knows? Miami could be an X factor in the ACC.
I'm telling you, probably two of the quarterbacks I'm most looking forward to watching in the ACC. Of course, you got Sam Howell at UNC. You got Trevor Lawrence at Clemson. But keep an eye on Cunningham and De'Aaron King now with Miami. Those two guys pretty outstanding when they're on their games.
Quez Jackson is the man down for Georgia Tech. Well, that is our Saturday night game. 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on ABC. De'Aaron King, number 17, Miami against Louisville, 18th ranked Cardinals. Saturday Night Football is presented by Capital One.
I would never make you make a pick in that game. I would never do that to you.
Well, now why would you never let me do that?
Just because I just don't want you to ever potentially be wrong.
Oh,
you know, you would hear about that. You too good of a friend for me to ever do that to you and put you on the spot. But I will say this. We're all trying to figure out, all right, who's that next team after Clemson? You know, a lot of people think it might be North Carolina. I'll tell you what, though, there's a decent amount of people that think it could be Louisville or Miami, and then, of course, the newest member of the ACC, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Yeah, so as if you're going to dismiss this Notre Dame team and you know, top 10 team with an offense with Ian Book that really can do damage. But I'm going to tell you right now, the middle tier of the ACC, we know what Clemson is.
Yeah.
We know what Clemson is. But there is some quality ball this year in the middle of that ACC.
I'm telling you, man. And honestly, I mean, it went from a one-team league, was so far beyond everyone else in their league. But tell you what, with what Virginia Tech did down the stretch last year, with what we've seen already just through a couple games with Miami, very encouraged with growth that Louisville showed last year in year one under Scott Satterfield. Tell you what, this league is on the way up. Last year it wasn't great. I think every ACC fan would probably admit that. Tell you what, though, 2020 and beyond, it's looking very, very positive with the momentum a lot of these programs have created. Georgia Tech included, by the way, who is 10 times better than they were a year ago already just through 2 games.
Second and 10. Gabriel with time, wants it again, but this time he gets it to Williams. As he got past Carpenter, Marlon Williams came on so strong in the second half of last year, and now providing a spark here in the fourth quarter of game number 1. Quick to the outside to Harris. Flag is down. What a big response drive this would be for UCF after Georgia Tech closed to 7.
Offense number 1. All 11 players were not set prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Man, it's just so many times we've seen UCF take a big old step forward only to stop themselves and stop that momentum. Look, I know they want to play with tempo, but Dylan Gabriel's year 2. Hey, you got to look outside. Are your guys set? If they're not, you can't snap it because now you're off schedule after the big play.
They got pressure and they run against it as Anderson finds a seam, gets to the outside, turns it on, and is inside the 10. It'll be first and goal Knights. It was Wanye Thomas who had to tackle him, or else it would have been a quick 6 for UCF. Fast to line up. First and goal. Anderson probing, and he's down to the 1-yard line.
It's the same play. Let's see if they do it again. Third time's a charm. Or they might go with that zone read, that bunch formation.
Look at this tempo. Lowering the shoulder, and he's in. They snapped that with 35 on the play clock. Right at you, machine gun style. Snap after snap, and right down the field they come. Otis Anderson, rushing touchdown for the Knights.
Well, welcome to the party, UCF. I mean, the offense really lethargic throughout the last 19 minutes or so, but my goodness, one play, and it's off to the races. It's a great answer there from UCF's offense after really struggling throughout the third quarter.
So here we are with Georgia Tech having gotten a little something for UCF. 35-21. Glad you're with us here from Atlanta. Joe Tessitore, Greg McElroy, Marty Smith. As our Pacific Life game summary will get you up to speed.
It all got started with Jahmyr Gibbs' first career touch on the kickoff return, set up A Jeff Sims touchdown just a couple moments later, but Dillon Gabriel was not to be outdone. 3 first-half touchdown passes. All were just beautifully thrown downfield and accurate in some of the underneath. And, man, it was a little bit lethargic throughout the third quarter. Couldn't get in much of a rhythm, but my goodness, did they find one and find one in a hurry on that last drive. Hitting a real big play down the field to Williams and then allowing Otis Anderson to go to work.
Empty set for Sims. And he's going to go underneath to Jalen Camp, who was able to get the first down. You know, you sit there and you're like, they were lingering a bit, the offense. And then Georgia Tech comes down and scores with Gibbs on the great 33-yard run. They cut it to 7 points. They were trailing by 21. Only one time in Georgia Tech's history had they come back from 21 points down to win. That was back in '98 against Virginia. And now it's right back to a 2-touchdown margin.
It was like, all right, well, you guys ready to go play now? And they made it close. They got it within a score. Let's go answer. And it was like clockwork, man, right down the field. Impressive response from the Knights.
It was 6 plays, 75 yards in just a minute 32. Gibbs taken down near the 40-yard line by Corey Thornton. Thornton, a freshman cornerback, is getting a lot of playing time today. They had a couple of corners opt out of the season. Tay Gowan, Devontae Dawson. He's the freshman from Miami, Florida.
And they have really good secondary personnel. I mean, long, athletic, guys that can play man-to-man, comfortable playing man-to-man. That's a good group in the back end for UCF.
2nd and 5, and Griffin has a big hole. Jamias Griffin, the former Gatorade Player of the Year in Georgia. He was really the first big recruit that Coach Collins had when he came to Georgia Tech. He was heading to NC State and then he flipped to Georgia Tech, and now he's got to share that backfield in future years with Jahmyr Gibbs. And he will stay in there on first down. Here is Sims. Incomplete as he was trying to go to the freshman tight end, Billy Ward.
It's just one guy after another on this Georgia Tech team. It's a freshman, sophomore, freshman. I mean, this is a young group. It really is. Outside of a few guys on defense that have been around for a while, it's a young group. So you got to be so encouraged by their ability to respond. Hasn't always gone perfectly for Sims and everyone else, but every time there's been a moment in which momentum's taken from them, they've bounced back. And that's a really nice thing that you've learned about your young kids.
Pressure off the edge, and in finding it, he's going to be taken down by Maxwell. So Griffin corralled by Zamari Maxwell on the cat blitz, and a timeout is going to be utilized.
Vittori, couple scores, still plenty of time. You don't have to get it all right here. Maybe a screen. Would even be very comfortable handing it off to Jahmyr Gibbs. Maybe makes a guy miss. And
right now he's in the slot to the top of the screen.
There he is right here. Let's see if he maybe motions back. We'll keep him out there.
He's looking his way and crossing pattern and looking for a flag, but not finding one that time. It was Sanders who was the intended target, and Derek Gaines was the defensive back who was on him.
And I think they had a call too. If you look, I mean, looks as though that shoulder was grabbed. This will be a good angle here. Yeah, you look at that left arm there defensively. Gaines kind of grabbing and altering Sanders as he crosses the middle of the field. Lucky for UCF they didn't call it, but I think Georgia Tech has it right.
4th down and 11. No PI, and now this. Sims steps forward. Tux has to get there, but he's ridden out. Well done by Corey Thornton, the freshman corner. And you can see the juice bubbling up over on that sideline with UCF.
You got to admire the toughness of Sims. Just got to have more spatial awareness. Got to have an understanding right there of the down and distance. Can't just start straight for the sideline. You have to cut that up inside. Give yourself at least a chance to make a guy miss, but just an unfortunate lack of awareness there by Sims, who's still trying to figure everything out here at the college level.
So when I was interviewing Jeff Sims Sr.,
Yes.
my cohorts made the decision that they wanted to clown
Oh, boy.
my pants. These are not plum. These are maroon-ish.
They look plum to me.
They are maroon. They might even be crimson.
I think they're plum.
McElroy. And the thing about it is that's not the problem. You guys are late. I walked onto the field 17 hours ago, and Brent Key, the offensive line coach for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, started to make fun of my pants as soon as he saw me from 100 yards away. Moreover, my back's starting to tighten up just a little bit. They're so tight, I can't lean over and stretch out my back. That's the problem right now.
Well, we can,
folks,
we can
American
Boy,
treasure.
do they look nice, ladies and
Now, let
gentlemen.
me ask you this, Greg. Moving forward, do you prefer Marty Magenta Hayes Smith, or would that be Marty Steel Pink Smith, the American treasure?
I'm kind of focused on the shoes. I mean, I see the white Nikes, and, you know, I mean,
Oh, boy.
that gets my attention, Marty. So
We got a winner here.
You know that I was going Jordans, but there was threatening skies when we left the hotel this morning. So I had to call a very quick audible.
You called a good one, that's for sure. Well done.
Thank you, Governor.
Thank you, Marty. Flag is down as Gabriel was taken down at the end of that. And coming in was Dominic. Right on Gabriel.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense number 42. 15-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
And it's the correct call, but man, this has got to be frustrating on a defensive player. Here you are, Dominic, coming off the edge, trying to create a rush, trying to hit the quarterback's arm as he releases it, and you hit the quarterback in the face. Anytime you hit the quarterback in the helmet or the face, it's going to be a foul every single time. There's been a movement to protect quarterbacks. I love that as a former quarterback, but man, as a defender, it's got to be frustrating.
Gabriel. Escott. And this is UCF's offensive identity. Most teams with a 2-touchdown lead under 9 minutes on the clock would be 4-minute offense. This is how they go about their business. And Thompson just gashes straight ahead, and a flag comes in at the end of the play. As it stands as a first down for now, but we will check on the flag. Could be holding here.
Holding. Offense number 55. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
You know, really the key for much of the second half was coming after Dylan Gabriel, but then they responded. But you see the difference between when Georgia Tech pressured him, Greg, compared to laying off.
And that's because you can't simulate a real rush. He's not getting hit in practice. I mean, this is to be expected. You would think those pressure numbers over the next 10 games will get better and better and better as he continues to get more and more comfortable with a live rush. So, look, it's tough. Week 1 is tough on quarterbacks, so to be expected.
What's not tough is when you look at the stat line as he's able to get it here and connect again with Williams, as he has 3 touchdown passes and just connects again for now 375 yards, a career high. 3rd and 2, Thompson, as he spins ahead, and will have the first down for the Knights, and we will be going under 8 minutes to play here, tackled by Bennett. So a career high in yardage for Dylan Gabriel, as Tariq Carpenter is down. And he is the middle of that back end for Georgia Tech's defense. He was involved with a huge hit last week against Tamarion Terry, the all-ACC receiver at Florida State.
Yeah, he was. Big 6'4", 220-pound receiver at full speed going up against a 242-pound safety in a legal collision. But I'm sure he was feeling it on Sunday and Monday, and he's down now too. And he's kind of the heart and soul of that back end as far as establishing that physical presence. He's a big body dude that can really hit you and is involved not just in the passing game and coverage, but also excellent in run support. First down, and then it's going to be full speed ahead.
Yeah, for those of you who sit back and say, wow, you know, you look at the schedule the past couple weeks, it's thinned down, it's, you know, you get some games that get postponed. Well, next week the ACC comes back to play, and then the great announcement everybody was thrilled with, there we are the weekend of October 23rd and 24th in the Big Ten. We'll wait to hear on the Pac-12. 3rd down and 5. Play clock counting down, 6.5 minutes to play. Gabriel with time. Oh, what a great effort that time from Williams. He tracked that ball, went up, got his hands over the defender Wesley Walker and hauled it in. Great snag by Marlon Williams.
I'll tell you what, man. He has stepped up in the second half. What a catch.
Anderson, as he's run down right along the line of scrimmage.
You look at Williams, I mean, they kind of issued a challenge to him. The corners on the outside have been pretty good in the second half and keeping Trey Nixon and Jalen Robinson relatively quiet. So what does that mean, man? We got to get our big body guy in the middle, in the slot. We got to get him going. And, man, as he responded, he's now been targeted 12 times. He's got 9 catches and currently leads when called upon here in the final 30 minutes.
Now they're playing that clock. 2nd and goal. Looking for the quick throw to the corner, and he's got it. So Williams put him in position and then gets the payoff. Excellent work, Dillon Gabriel, Marlon Williams, and that is 4 touchdown passes and over 400 yards for Dillon Gabriel.
It's just a great job. You see the inside leverage of the defender. Gabriel knows exactly where his out-breaking route is. Walker is about a yard off and inside. Williams goes up, works him to the outside, gets to the corner. Great blitz-beating route and a beautiful throw and catch by UCF's offense.
Wasn't it just a 7-point game not long ago? Extra Yard for Teachers Week is the annual effort led by the College Football Playoff Foundation to bring college football together to support and celebrate teachers across the country. And thanks to the CFP, ESPN is honored to donate $20,000 this week to help support teachers and their students. To learn more about Extra Yard for Teachers, follow it at CFP Extra Yard. That kind of fourth quarter all of a sudden for the home fans. Is he knocked out? Is he gone for the day there, Greg?
I think he's hanging on.
I think there's hope there.
That's just, I mean, obviously Georgia Tech, remarkable school.
That ain't the surrender cobra, bro. That's just the mummy. That's what we call the mummy. The surrender mummy.
Remarkable school, but that's taking advantage of the things around you. He just uses the cushion on the pillow. That's just a pillow. I mean, he leans back, little pillow. Ingenuity on display here in Atlanta. And that's remarkable right there.
Smart folks go to school here at Georgia Tech, take advantage. That was the tap to see that you're all right. Oh,
he's back.
Hey. Uh-oh. My man, you're on ABC, and there's a little derision soaking down from the broadcast booth.
Oh, he is back.
So they've doubled them up with 5:30 to go. As we check in with Kevin Nagandi.
I can't imagine the text messages that guy's getting right now. Javian Hawkins over 1,500 yards on the ground last season, 71 last week. Louisville has a chance to start 2-0 for the first time since 2017. That's Lamar Jackson's final season with the squad. Canes, Cardinals, less than 30 minutes away. Back to you, Joe.
Kevin, I like how you got the hype machine going for Miami and Louisville, and there's reason to have him. Looking forward to seeing what De'Ara King can offer up in that one tonight. Sims being pressured, and oh, what an effort that time.
Sims pass intercepted by number 4,
Stephon Zayas, point blank, and gets the interception. He is 6'6", playing defensive end. And right there on the rush, he gets a pickoff.
Yeah, he starts all the way on the left side, works his way all the way around, trying to get a twist, trying to create a pass rush. But as soon as he sees the screen, he peels off, goes vertical, and makes a great play on the football. How about Zayas? Like you alluded to, 6'6". It's tough to throw it over that. It's an excellent play, heads-up play there by the redshirt junior.
And give credit to the other defensive end, Randy Charlton. You mentioned it not long ago that Charlton is the guy who's been coming after Sims all day. He's the one who was in his face. Bentavious Thompson now runs the ball to the 16 as that clock will count down. There is Charlton. So one guy gets the pick, the other guy gets credit. And you start to think about this UCF team and what kind of year it could be, and you know, the institutional understanding of how to win and how things could play out. You know, they're going to be at Memphis on October 17th. Memphis has to play Cincy at Cincy in late October, and then UCF Cincy is November 21. But those three in the American, that is at top tier.
Big time.
And now just the dump off inside the 10 goes Hescock, the tight ends.
If you think about the American, I mean, you reference those three teams. We always talk about Power 5, Group 5, whatever. Tell me the American right now isn't deeper than the Big 12, perhaps.
Oh, the American is a strong conference, especially at the top.
Very strong. And I think the American, you could make a case based on the first couple weeks here out in the 2020 season. It's early, but I've been far more impressed with the quality of play at the top right now. Now, of course, Oklahoma, Texas, they're excellent. But those next teams, 3, 4, 5, Oklahoma State struggled today. Iowa State lost to Louisiana. We know Kansas State struggled last week against Arkansas State, losing that game. The middle tier right now for the Big 12 is really working against them. So I think you can make a very, very strong argument on behalf of the American as, at worst, the fourth best or third best league in college football right now.
We got style points here to close out this fourth quarter, and adding on to those style points is Thompson, Bentavious Thompson. And now folks are going to look at that score and say, all right, here's an ACC program that could be taking a nice step forward, that just won on the road against Florida State. And here comes UCF, and the Knights offense just keeps doing their thing year after year. And they're going to come just short of hanging half a hundo on Georgia Tech. How does 49 sound? Reminder, we have Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Celtics and Heat tonight at 8:30 Eastern. NBA Countdown gets our coverage started at 7:30 on ESPN. Boy, the Celtics have to get out of their own way a little bit. That Heat team is hungry, Greg. And that is a critical one for the Celtics against the Heat. Game 3 Eastern Conference Finals.
It's pretty amazing to watch Miami. You know, I mean, the Heat go and they make quick work of Milwaukee and the MVP Giannis. I mean, I'll tell you what, want to know what this has done for me as an NBA fan? It has justified just how good Eric Spoelstra is as a head coach. Like, I mean, he always had great players, of course, won a championship with LeBron, obviously, have been around a long time, but man, he is awesome. And of course, Pat Riley pulling the strings behind the scenes. It's a heck of an organization. It really is.
Let's go to Kevin.
Tess, let's bring the energy like the Canes as they get ready. They're all buzzing because of De'Ara King. Little basketball conversation with the Heat. Well, the Canes trying to dunk it on the goalpost as we are just over 20 minutes away. Kickoff prime time at ABC. Number 17, Miami, at number 18, Louisville. Back to you guys.
Boy, Mark Booger and Kevin have done a great job getting us set for that game all day long. And De'Ara King, the quarterback for Miami, he's got a heck of a streak going on. Of course, the transfer from Houston. Jeff Sims. These are these developmental minutes here for a freshman. But De'Ara King, 16 straight games with a passing touchdown and a rushing touchdown. Tim Tebow had the previous mark at 14 straight.
It's amazing. He's a heck of a player, man. And he did some really nice things in his debut a couple weeks ago on Thursday. Got out of a lot of trouble with that pass rush that he was facing from UAB.
He's taken down that time. As hope you've been enjoying this college football afternoon presented by Chick-fil-A. Dr. Pepper's Championship Drive Game of the Week. UCF has been playing at a championship level for a long time. The breakout 2017, undefeated regular season in 2018. Crossing along the middle is P.J. Harris as he gets the reception out to the 46-yard line. This is going to be UCF's 36th win in their last 40 games since the start of 2017. Monte Smith able to keep his balance and tries to dive ahead. Ball came out at the end there, and I believe UCF has it, and they do, and that will be closing things out as Lester jumps on it. Dylan Lester. As he gets the fumble recovery and the sartorial splendor of the Blue Blazers heading to the exits here at Bobby Dodd.
That ball getting a little loose. Just kind of the way things have gone here in the second half for Georgia Tech. Made a few too many mistakes now to be able to hang with a team that's this explosive. Too many turnovers. Just too many problems to kind of keep up. That is now their 6th turnover of the game. You just can't give UCF that many opportunities.
Time to close things out for the Knights. And they will do so with Parker Navarro coming in. Quarterback from Tempe, Arizona, the freshman. I'd love to give him a little bit of experience, the 6-foot freshman from Arizona, because Quadri Jones is right now the backup. He was the 3rd-string quarterback up until a week ago. Darryl Mack opted out for the season. Many players have this year. And I think those who have stuck around are getting a heck of a reward. As Demarius Good. You know, it's funny, it's the little things, Greg. It's just getting to the starting gate of a season, just being able to, you know, travel to a game, be with your brothers, be in the locker room, that feeling they're about to have in moments of even returning to the locker room after a win, not knowing if they would even experience that for most of the offseason.
Yeah, and Dylan Gabriel, I think, hit the nail on the head in saying, hey, I will never take it for granted again. And the time that you spend with your teammates, the opportunity to compete, to represent your school, your state, it means so much to all these guys, and that's why they're out there doing it in difficult circumstances, and we're awfully proud of them for doing so.
Johnny Richardson, a 5'7" freshman from Lake Wales, Florida, coming in and getting some time here.
Let's keep an eye on that kid.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard
he was a very impressive high school local area